The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and DoctorJonPaul, LLC. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I am one of your hosts, John, also known as Dr. John Paul. And I would like to have a word with my friends down to the Chili's. So I just really want to say, and Chris, if you want to add some music here, you can.
This is non-copyrighted music from the editing team. Don't flag us.
I'm gonna need y'all to bring back the corn on the cob. I'm gonna need y'all to do that. It can't be that expensive. We used to be a proper country. We really did. You know, when you would go into Chili's and they would say, "Hey, what would you like?" You know, you get your mango tea, you get all the things. You know, you may get your $5 margarita, whatever, and then they would say, "What would you like to eat?" And you would say, "I want the triple dipper," and it used to come with fries. It would come with a good piece of corn on the cob. And then you get your 3 pieces of the triple dipper. If you were like me and you'd like to live a little on the wild side, for those who are not watching, I'm shaking my titties. You would get the Chipotle, you know. So before I go, are you a Chili's girl? Do you eat Chili's like that?
Do I know Chili's? Cuba, Sri Lanka, what?
Okay.
Southwestern egg rolls all day, every day.
Okay, I just want to make sure you was with me. I know you with me.
Oh, I'm with
I know you're with me.
Right.
You with me when I'm right, and you'll tell me real quick when I'm wrong. That's the one thing I have learned about my sister is as soon as I'm wrong, she'll go, "Ooh, girl, no, that's a wrong decision." She'll go, "Ooh, no, you're wrong there." But I'm glad you're with me on this Chili. So yes, you would get your triple dippers. You may get the Chipotle.
Yes.
I like to ask for some flour tortillas. And then I would I would put my triple dippers in the tortilla, and then I put ranch on it, girl. Only way to eat them.
Snack wrap.
Only way to eat them. Girl, you know they done took the corn away, and so now they give us mac and cheese. So I was on a trip this week, and I'm gonna talk more about my conference a little bit later. Baby, let me tell you that they gave me some mac and cheese. When I tell you it was the nastiest mac and cheese I have ever seen in my life. It was like the noodles were swimming in the cheese, and the cheese was like real milky. It was gross. It was disgusting. And I just said, like, what are we doing here? You know, when my mother yells at me like this, it's because she loves me. You heard what I said. Bring back the corn on the cob. But anyway, Queen Joho, before I get too deep into the rabbit hole of all of the issues I have with chili, how are you?
I'm screaming. Lovies, it's your bestie Jordan, aka Joho. Once again, I'm gonna tell y'all, award-winning multi-award-winning podcast. Thank you very much. And I'm here to tell y'all that we need to bring yearning back. The online streets are saying that men don't yearn no more. And I have to agree. I'm inclined to say, yes, it's true. Men don't be begging for love no more in his shows.
Oh, yeah.
They don't write no more love songs or anything. Just lazy. But expecting us to do the most. And I hate to see it. No, I want a man who yearns. I want a man to write me a sonnet.
Yeah.
Okay, bring back Shakespeare. Where he was out
Not Shakespeare.
Hold on. Shakespeare. Bring back some sonnets, bitch. I want to know. I want you professional love.
Stand outside my window with a boombox. Yeah.
Okay, I would say with a boombox. So
with
back
a
to my
beat,
window.
with a beat pill.
Tell me that you'll die without my love. Tell me that you would rather see your eyes gouged out than see me walk away from you. Like, that's the shit I want to see.
Yes.
This is what I want to see.
You want boys to men begging on bended knee. That's what you want.
I want on bended knee. I'm
down on bended knee.
Come back, baby. Come back to me.
Come back. Yes, and when you don't meet me, no blame is on me. Yeah, when Wanye was hollering, he wanted, don't let it slip away. Yes, mama was begging. I want to do that. I want it with you. And then we get to the bridge, honey. The one thing about Boys to Men was they was gonna beg. They was gonna beg.
And they had no shame.
Yes.
Ain't you proud of bad girl? Ain't you proud of bad? We darling. Okay.
Yes, girl.
Please don't leave me, girl. Don't you? Ooh.
They were begging. So anyway, yes, I agree. I agree that we don't do enough. And it's funny because part of our show, we're going to be talking about, the whole fanatic toxicness of love that we live in now, especially with reality TV. I just thought it'd be a really good time for us to talk about it. Obviously, you all know
Yep.
I'm a huge Love Is Blind fan, and it wrapped up a couple of days ago, and so want to talk about that before the reunion hits. But I
Mhm.
also wanted to remind the girls that me and Jordan are headed to NYC. By the time you hear
Okay,
this, will we be in
baby.
New York? Yeah, we'll be
No.
no, no,
No,
no, no,
no.
no, no. We'll
No.
be 2 days out.
We 2 days out,
Okay, of
yep.
going to New York. Yeah. So if there are any girls who want to connect, so that way we can create some content. And I'm not talking about OnlyFans content now, baby. Now I'm not judging nobody. I'm not yucking nobody's yums. That's not what we do over here, right? We're talking about if you want us to be on your podcast, you want us to make a couple of quick clips with you, go ahead, jump in our DMs, let us know. We'll make some time. But yeah, girl, we're going down and with our fingers crossed and praying that we win an award. But yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to shout that out as well. But go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Why, yes. Why, yes.
ah!
Golly.
Yes! I'm so tell your girl like we do every week in our Still Here segment. Oh
Stupid.
my god. Never
Why,
in my
yes.
life have my brain cut out like that. Girl, I was buffering. I said, "Oh, my Wi-Fi's unplugged, girl." Ooh, that was
Bitch,
crazy.
you was I said, is she all right?
Bitch, I froze. I said,
She-
"Ooh, ooh,
Stupid.
oh, why would I
So
do this shit?" We
stupid.
okay.
Mm.
Ooh, Chris, don't cut that, Chris. Keep that in, please. That shit was hilarious.
Please.
I'm actually crying. We gonna kick off our show we do every week with our
So
girl in our
dumb.
Sarah segment, but honoring our girl, Miss Tisha Campbell.
Mm-mm.
Now I want to ask a very simple yet very important question. Who, bitch? Who, bitch? What?
Golly.
what? What gesture
Mm.
makes you feel loved?
Ah.
Now, this will be the through line conversation that we had today. So I
Mm.
figured we mentioned before we get into the weeds of it all. Not you crying, girl, because I'm crying too.
Mm,
You know, I'll go first and I'll ask John. For me, I think it is. Ooh, it's not buffering. It's my
mm.
gesture of love, girl. Don't buffer on me. No, for me, it's like when people do what they say they'll do, like especially.
You are so dumb, but go off. Go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry. I
so
just
done.
can't stop
I'm so
laughing.
done. I'm for
I
real
have the
because
giggles.
that shit took me out. Also, my own face, I was like,
How you see your own
It was
face?
giving
We have
sunken.
to
It was giving sunken
go
place.
ahead.
I
Go
was like,
ahead. Go
"Whoo,
ahead. Go
okay,
ahead.
whoo."
Mm.
People doing what they say they'll do, especially if I ask for help. So, like, I'm a type of person where I don't ask for help a lot, and so if people say they'll do something, then one, they set their expectations that they'll do it,
Yeah.
and like when it doesn't happen, it drives people wall. And so like that just makes me feel loved is like people who uphold their commitments to what they say they'll commit
Yeah.
to, because I've been working through like in some cases like I've been working through like relinquishing the impact if they don't, right? Because like sometimes things just happen and we can't all do the things that we say we'll do. You know, and for me it's more about like big things and small things. But to make when I say for love is the people, if you say do something you do the thing. One, because if I gotta do it, I'd be like, girl, I should have done it in the first place. But two, because it lets me know that you're like invested. To me it's like that's a sign of investment for me, right? If you do what you say you'll do, it's a sign of investment for me that you're invested in us, whatever we are as people. And so yeah, so I think that's what makes me feel most loved. And then also like and like it's just like clear communication, like what makes me feel loved. If someone's like, no, I did not love that, like, you know, that someone's like, "Hey, girl, I didn't love that thing you did." I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I appreciate that." I may feel hurt,
Mhm.
but I'm like,
Yeah.
you love me enough to tell me when I'm not showing up as my best self, and also love me enough to tell me when I show up as my most amazing self.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those are my
No,
two.
I agree. I think
How
those are
about you?
actually really, really good.
Whew.
And it also speaks a lot to our friendship. I think it's cool because it's like
Mhm.
I feel like I've learned so much about, and I've said this in so many different ways, but I feel like you have shown me a lot about the, empathy and being honest with folks and saying it like, saying it with my chest and how to check in on people. I think you've really taught me how to do that very well because you check in on me. I've learned to check in on you more. So it's really, like I said, watching you has very much been a mirror for me in a lot of ways of even, at my big age thinking, oh, I think I figured it out. I think I have it down. There are times where I watch you and I watch how you tell people how to respect you or treat you and love you, and it helps
Mm,
remind me what I need to be doing, to be not only just a better friend, but also to be a better partner, et cetera, et cetera. So
mm,
all that to be said, for me, I really never thought about this until therapy. Look at me, I'm tripping all over my words today. My God, when I started therapy, I didn't really. I guess I was always afraid to tell people how to love me, or really, say like I need these things in order for me to feel valued. And now
mhm,
therapy has really helped me like tell people that. And so I think for
mm,
me, truly my true love language, is words of affirmations, but also including me. And what I mean by that is like even if I'm busy or even if I have something going on, it still means a lot to me where it's like, hey, I'm doing this thing and I know you might be busy, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew about it. Like that really tells me, oh wow, at least you thought about me, right? Like at least
mm,
you thought to include me, even though, like, for instance, like even thinking about like with your birthday, right? Like you were like, I know you may have something going on, but I just want you to know that we're having this birthday thing and you're more than welcome to come. That tells me everything. That tells me, well, at least you
mm,
love me enough to like include me and not to just be like, oh girl, I assumed you were busy, so I didn't ask you. That's
mhm,
really big for me.
mhm,
Um, Apart from that, I think, and I tell people like, just invite me anyway. And if that tells me that you want me around. I think it's because I've constantly been isolated in several spots of my life. And I mean, we could talk about that in different ways, but I think, feeling like people intentionally left me out or intentionally overlooked me. I think when people actively say, like I said, I know you're busy, but I just wanted you to know this thing was happening and I'm hoping you can come. That tells me, wow, like you actually see me and that you love me. But I think I think for me, inclusion is it's a huge thing for me since I
mm,
often worry about, and I also struggle with this, and I don't know if you struggle with this, but I automatically assume that people don't like me until they tell me they do, and so
mm,
it's just something I'm still working through even at my big age. But yeah, that's a big thing for me is inclusion, or even when people are like, "Yeah, I would love to hang out with you," like that. I'm like, "Oh, that's amazing." But also food. Food is a
mm.
big love language for me. My heart is through my stomach. I tell people all the time, say it with the McDonald's gift card, say it with a Del Taco gift
Okay.
card, say it with a
Mm,
Taco Bell,
mm,
little $5 box, right? Say it with
mm.
boba. You brought me boba when we had the speaking like that was love when we went to our little Kiki session. Like you brought me boba, like that is an act of love for me. Say it with Red Lobster biscuits, like that
Ooh, okay.
that's true love to me.
That's free.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. And it is free. Yes, you can just run up in there and get like 2 or 3. I think you can get a dozen of them damn things for like 3 or $4.
Okay.
So, like, that just
Mm.
shows me that you know me and that you love me. So, yeah, say it with, action, but also say it with food. Yes, God.
You know, I love that so very much. Because I think one thing I think about a lot is when you invite someone, right? Like, because also even if you are busy, you may surprise them and come,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Like I feel you on also being a person like I know when people often be like, oh, like, I think you're so busy. I'm like, okay, but invite me anyways. And
Right.
some people, I think for them, it's like, well, they don't want the rejection of you saying no. And I'm like, girl,
Mhm.
I hear that, and also like I would push back and say like it hurts one more to not be invited than does for, like the them to say like
Mhm.
no, because like it's
Mhm.
not that I want to know. It's like it's like I have to say no for some reason, but also I may surprise you and show up, and then if I do, don't be glad that I said yes,
Right.
because I think also some people, I think some folks don't invite us or invite others because they don't want to be responsible for the yes. Because then if you say yes, you're like, oh fuck, I gotta like plan for this bitch now too.
Mhm.
Now, and so that's why I'm like, I don't invite people to places like where like I don't invite people places if I actually don't want them to be there. Because if they say yes, surprise me, then great. Then like I'm prepared for them to be there. But if I if I actually don't want them there, I won't invite them. Like if I don't want you there, girl, I
She
won't
said,
invite
"I'm
you.
not
Like
gonna tell you about it if I don't want you there."
it's not gonna
And I
okay,
know
you'll
that's
find out
right,
after the
and I
fact.
think that's
Yeah,
fair. I
after the
think
fact.
that's totally fair. I think, I think in the bigger scheme of this conversation, right, I think it is important, one, to also protect yourself, but also I think the same vein, it's also important to tell people how to love you, and I think we as people over time, especially now because of, the pandemic and
Mhm.
because of everything that's going on in the world, I think we haven't had time to really stop and say, what do I need to feel full? And I think for me, like telling people what they should be doing or how they should be doing things for you to show up for you, or
Mhm.
even rearranging plans and saying, I know I can't be there. Like I said, like I know this weekend, like a great example of that was I knew I couldn't be there on Sunday. So I said, I'll come a day earlier and we can hang out the day before your event.
Mhm.
So that way we can make sure that we have quality time together. Like that was me thinking of it in the sense of like we're sisters and I want to make time for you, even if I can't be there on the day that you really want me to be there. And so, like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? Tell people what you need
Yeah.
so that way we can fill each other's cups, especially now. So,
Mhm.
mhm.
Well, now that I got to DoorDash a special liberty to jump for some things I won't tell them about,
Hallelujah. Praise
we gotta
God.
take one quick break and come back with this week's category is in just a sec.
Amen. All right, this week we are hopping into another conversation related to topics that we have touched on in the past. So we don't need nobody sending us no messages. You've already talked about this. Yes, we have mentioned it before, but we're putting a spin on it this week. We have actually had listeners. I will say honestly, there have been people who've jumped in my inbox and said, "Oh my God, I would love for you to talk a little bit about Love Is Blind," or "I would love to love for somebody to talk about Queer Ultimatum." And I've
Mm.
told people, yeah, I don't necessarily know if we want to spend a whole episode talking about that. But what I will say is that, as you all know, if you follow me on social media, you know I have been super vocal about how awful this season of Love Is Blind is. And now that it's wrapped up, baby, the way that this last season, I'm actually really upset that you don't watch it, Joho, because I really wish we could engage some of the content around it. But for those of you who know me and have been following me on social, you already know what I have to say and how I feel about all of the people on the show. It is bad. The season was terrible. But as I mentioned to my sister, that I think there is something deeply troubling about shows like Love Is Blind, specifically this past season, and then just
Mm.
I think in general about how Americans are obsessed with these love shows. And so I said, why don't we have a quick moment to where we just kind of like process out? Because like I said, I know you loved Queer Ultimatum. I didn't watch that. And
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
I love Love Is Blind. I know you don't watch that. And I said, how can we meet in the middle? And so today we're going to be talking a little bit about this notion of like the problem with these love shows. And so specifically, I'm going to be touching on like, and again, if you follow me and you know me, you know I'm really big on this. I love watching these type of shows, right? I'm a huge 90 Day Fiance fan. I still watch it. I still follow all of them. I also watch Love on the Spectrum, and I even watch Indian Matchmaker, which they really need to hurry up and bring
Mm.
that back because that was actually really good. There were a lot of problematic elements of the show, but I will say I really enjoyed that show. And so, anyway, this week I wanted to ask, why do you think American pop culture is so committed to the idea that finding love must be competitive, performative, but also so damn
Mm.
public? That's kind of the first place I wanted to start with this combo.
So I was thinking about when I saw this question, I was thinking about like I wonder where our desire for love stories come from.
Mm,
Like, like what do we always have great love stories? Like was it in books like Pride and Prejudice, like what was it in things like that? What was it, was it Shakespeare? Was it the sonnets? Was
you and
it
Shakespeare
Romeo and
is killing
Juliet?
me.
Shakespeare. Oh,
Mhm,
because I think a lot about Scary Movie when
mhm.
Brenda would be like, "Oh, he in love with Shakespeare." No, it's not Shakespeare. I live. Yeah,
Right.
I would like in Sexual with Love, like, is it more of a like American culture thing? 'Cause
Mm,
sometimes I think so because like I've watched a few like dating shows in other countries and like some of these shows like they have like panels during the show to debrief and discuss like through I've watched several like Korean and Japanese dating shows
mhm,
and they have like a panel that's in the middle of the show that's separate from the contestants that they'll just like talk about what's happening,
mhm,
which I like a lot because they say a lot of what we're thinking, but they also don't get as violent. as we do or rude. I think, right? Like I
Yeah,
think with
Pop the
us,
Balloon is awful.
right?
But yeah, go off.
Because like because
Uh-huh.
like because like because like we like I think we love
Yeah.
drama, right? In some ways it's catharsis for us, um because of maybe like the repression we have for that in our own
Mhm.
lives. But I also like think sometimes like the issues that we have, this is like it's like a right, like Love Island, Love is Blind, like was it Singles Inferno, was it Single Inferno or something, or like
Mhm,
Hot,
mhm. Yeah.
whatever, like the like case studies in what happened. I think what this is like a we don't love facilitations. This is what happens when you don't facilitate. You just let people do their own things and see
Mhm.
what happens.
Yeah.
And they almost always go into violence or accusations or like intense shit, right?
Yeah.
But in other ways, like I think like we're just colonial AF. We love perform violence and we love
Mm.
chaos. We love uncontrolled chaos. Like I think that yeah, finding love must be competitive because our entire base is based off of competition, right?
Yeah.
Like capitalism is based off of
Yeah.
competition. The construction of America is based off of who can own who and make something faster.
Well,
And so I think, right, like we find everything to be centered around the idea of
yeah.
competition, and then and winning, right? And like we're all about risk and reward. We love the idea of like what's the risk and what's the reward here? Is it money? Is it I fall in love with somebody? I watched the first season of Love Is Blind,
Mm.
and I liked it in some cases, in other cases, hate it. And I think also think like it's our obsession. Like also like no one gives a show with people who aren't quote unquote hot as fuck,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Like I think like there are very few shows that just show people that you feel like I can relate to this person
Yeah.
and like in many ways. And so it's also like our obsession with like looking the best and
Being the most
and
attractive. Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
And so in that thread, I'm curious to ask
Yeah.
you, are we addicted to watching people fall in love or to watching them fail to sustain love?
Mm.
And what does it say about our collective relationship to intimacy?
Yeah. Well, something you had said struck a chord in me, or just a second ago, when you were talking about the chaos of it all, and I was even thinking like I love watching. There's a show called Match Me Abroad. That's a TLC show, and this last season, actually the last past two seasons, two of
Mm,
the couples have basically spiraled out of control, and it became extremely chaotic towards the end of the show. And my partner has kind of like tuned out of that show and was like, why are you still watching this? And I'll even admit, for me, it was, oh, I know that it's about, like, from the clips I saw, it's about to spiral out, and I want to see how it spirals out. And then,
mm,
that way I can feel like there's at least a bow for me since I've committed myself to watching these 12 episodes of the show. But I think for me, I've heard so many people say dating is terrible now, and as someone who has been married for 15 years and I'm watching these shows and I'm watching these spirals and, like you said, the chaos of it all, I feel like reality TV has played a role in the breakdown of romance. Kind of like what you were
mm,
saying earlier, right? Like there, like the longing, the essence of dating is no
mm,
longer. I wouldn't call it fun, but it's just it seems like it's competitive. It feels, I think that's the thing. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It just feels like as I'm listening to my peers who are dating, or I'm listening to my peers who are in, open relationships and, trying to find connections with other people, the way that they've responded or the way that they've replied to, my question of like, girl, what is going on in the dating world? It just feels like I guess television. And I don't want to say it's all television. I also think that, we all play a role in this to some degree, but it does. It feels like it's just super competitive, and it's always who's the hottest of the hot. Like the thing I notice is that no one's ever good enough, right? Like it's like
mm,
someone's always
mhm,
looking for like the total package. And I think that's the thing I had to really, I wouldn't say, and I want to make this very clear because I love my partner house down boots. Like what a lot of people don't know about me was when I met my partner had just lost his job. He had just lost his job. He was living back at home with his parents. And, I could have literally said, oh no, girl, you live with your mom and you just lost your job. I'm not gonna date you. But it was like, for me, it was, for me, it wasn't about that. It was, I see this very beautiful and kind person who's wanting to
Mm,
love me the way I'm asking to be loved. And so I think, just for me, it's like dating, because a lot of these reality television shows are set up like competition. It has
mhm,
really ruined the understanding of what true romance is and what compatibility can be, and even self-worth.
mhm.
Like, as I'm watching these people in the Love is Blind and the pods, that was a lot of the things that I felt like they did they and then I have to question, is this intentional, or is this the way that they're setting it up to make good TV, right? Because I recognize that the producers are in the mix of this. But the question is, if somebody tells you there are so again, I know I don't want to spoil it, but at this point, if you haven't watched the last episode, you pretty much have did yourself a disservice. Spoiler alert, fast forward through this. But I was gonna say, like, there was a whole to do around this woman saying, I don't want to marry this man because he's a truck driver. And I'm going, well, why weren't you having this conversation with him in the pods, girl? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
if you knew him being a truck driver was going to be the thing that made you not want to marry
Well,
him, okay. Right, right. But I'm just saying, like,
well,
you're like, okay, why yes?
well,
Why
yes.
yes?
I
Yeah.
I would not marry a truck driver either for my own personal
Uh-huh.
reasons. Not because I hate the profession, but because my dad was one. I never meant he was a hoe.
Right, right.
Let's wake it
Okay,
up.
okay,
Some truck
okay,
drivers have
okay,
will
okay,
have
okay.
have double
I'm with you when
families,
you're right.
but
I'm with you when you're right.
unlike her, I would have been said that from jump
Right.
versus went to the altar day, girl, because you knew his job
And
beforehand.
that was
And
the
all of a
big
sudden, you're
thing
like,
for me.
no,
Like, can we take a moment to segue off to that? Y'all niggas waited. We did all of this. You got three women in dresses. You took
you have
them
people
stupid
invested in
gold
you.
cups. You
Hmm.
had your family involved. You invited all these people out here for you to get to the altar to turn around and say no. Like, what are we doing?
Mm.
That for me is what really pissed me off. But anyway, I don't want to. I don't want to go off into that tangent, but I was just say, like, I just think that it feels like everybody is looking for gold all the time. And it's like, baby, it is okay for you to settle with silver.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to find bronze. I'm not
Mm,
telling you
ooh.
to get with like somebody who is absolutely terrible and treats you poorly. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that a lot of the things that I hear specifically on reality TV, or even just in like the day to days of people saying, oh, I don't want to date him. I'm going, girl, like, do you really think that you're going to be able to find all of that in one person? Because I mean, and I feel like I'm a
Mm,
catch and I still ain't got all my shit together. Right. Like, so I'm going
mm.
like I just feel like we've really gotten to this place where we've lost the plot when it comes to like specifically dating shows, but the ways that we treat each other when it comes to love and romance. And so I guess the thing I want to throw back to you is I would love to know what you think all of this, reality TV, the apps, specifically probably being someone who is on the apps, right? I know you're probably looking for connections, and not trying to judge you. I'm just saying, like,
I was like, "Oop."
no, I'm not trying to clock your
No,
T. I'm just
no,
saying, like,
I'm like, "Don't tell me about all the apps,
yeah, but
y'all."
I mean,
What
I've kind
apps?
of assumed. I
How
mean,
you do it? What
obviously,
apps?
you've
What apps you
said that
need?
you're single, and so
Me, a girl
yeah.
on the apps? Never.
Never, never, never.
Never,
No, no, no. I'm just saying, like, as someone
ever.
who, so maybe I should say not the apps, but like looking
Not
for a
on the
digital
apps.
connection. How you doing?
Okay,
How
how
you
you
doing?
doing? How
A
you
girl who
doing,
is
honey?
looking for who's looking for a digital connection, like, what does it say about the ways that folks are seeking to connect on all of these things?
Okay, so first I want to address like, or I want to like pull a thread on something you said because I feel like because like you mentioned the idea of like like settling, and I think there's a really real thing about settling to be said for sure, but I think like now today in a time where you can customize anything you want from a person
Mhm,
essentially,
mhm.
like anything less is seen as settling and it's misconstrued like right like compromise is misconstrued as settling
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And I think that's what I'm always mindful of is like, is it actually settling, right? Like like is it that you want gold in this person's bronze, or or is it that you were just maybe too like, and dare I say too needy or picky in what you think gold is? Like
Mhm.
gold actually can be a lot of different things, but people want gold to be like the most because that's because like we're taught we can have that,
Right.
and I don't think that's wrong that we're taught we can have what we want, but I also think we need to be taught that like sometimes like things that we want like don't always happen, and also sometimes look differently they look differently than the way we think they're gonna like show up to
Right.
us, and we have to be
Right.
open to doing that.
Mhm.
So I think that's one thing that I think like how shows and apps have ruined that for us is because it doesn't teach us to be
Yeah.
surprised. It teaches us to want to like customize
Mhm.
something. And oftentimes when people get what they think they want, they end up not wanting it. And like that is something to think about as well
Yep.
too. I definitely think competition has ruined romance too, because when it teaches us, right, it teaches us that like love should be this like heart racing thing. And sometimes like it isn't like right like I think it's not wrong to want love to be heart racing and exhilarating and exciting. And sometimes love can literally just be like love can be boring in the best way, right?
Mhm.
I want a love that is like I want a love that is like sitting on the stoop like smoking a joint or something
Uh-huh.
like that like right I want love that one day can be we're going to a fancy date night. We're dressed down boots, and the next day is we're on the couch just watching a movie,
Yeah.
right? Like love doesn't have to be this like constant rush of emotion or rush of exhilaration. And I think shows teach us that it needs to be, and or that like we need to like risk something all the time to get love and then achieve this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't. And to me, I'm like you. I don't think you're supposed to achieve love. Like I think you have to discover it. And you have to like water it and nurture it. And I think that that's not what these things teach us, right? Because all these shows are about falling in love fast,
Yep.
right? Like the whole premise of Love is Blind is really wild. You meet somebody through this through this wall for X amount of time.
2 weeks.
You say,
2
then you
weeks.
propose to them, and then you meet them, and then like it's like you're like and like you're flipping the idea of like desire and connection on its head. And I think they think they're like doing a social experiment that's like really cool, but all it does is like show people like I don't think it really shows people how to build together. I don't think it
Mm-mm.
really shows people how to how to sustain something.
Nope.
I think it shows people
Mhm.
what are the ways in which they can to me it's like one giant trigger test essentially, right? Like
Mm.
it just shows you how all your triggers. And the point about the apps again give this faux sense of like
Yeah.
agency. Um, but I think it's really more about, I think it's actually more about avoidance, right? Like I get that they were made with the intention of saying you can find whatever you're looking for out here. I think that's really great. But like all good things, they become used for evil.
Yep.
And so now it becomes, well, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. I will avoid all those things, but you may be surprised by those
Yep.
things, right? Like you might be surprised by the person who who doesn't fit your like physical standard, right?
Mm.
And like listen, maybe if I was some like I don't know like insert model here, maybe I feel different, right?
Mhm.
Maybe I'm just an ugly bitch and and so I think
That
differently
is
about this, right?
far from the truth.
But I mean, sure. I mean, I know, but like, yeah, but
Mhm.
maybe my experience are informed by something different than like if I was one of those people that were on the show. But I really do feel, like, I really do feel that like these things were created, like they're created for the intention of access, right?
Mhm.
Like access to see love played out on TV, access to find the love to find your love online and stuff. But the creation of those things left out very real like
Emotions.
tools to build
Yeah.
connection. Left out very real education
Mhm.
tools to build things out in person,
Yeah.
right? Like yes, am I on the apps? Yes, I don't take them that seriously though, because like I know like most people are on the apps. Like most people are on the apps. I have found that they're like, oh, so all these times on the apps and just to meet somebody in person anyways.
Mhm.
And like that's just how it goes, right? Like because you'll never really know until you meet somebody in person and see like what your vibe and your experience
Right.
is. So I think like people have I think what I'm really trying to say is I don't think it's the shows that inherently have ruined the things. I don't like blame a show, right? Like it's not the show's fault we're bad at intimacy, but I think it showed us it's like it's more about we have invested less in intimacy. We have, as people,
Mhm.
invested less in knowing others. We have invested less in like not being avoidant or healing ourselves or having high emotional and social EQs. Like I think
Mm. Mhm.
that's the issue is that we have like it's one thing to like enjoy brain rot. It's another thing to like become brain rot, right? Like I enjoy rotting on the couch sometimes for some silly shit,
Mhm.
but I also am like, let me not absorb. Like I can consume
Right.
without
Right, right,
absorbing.
right, right, right.
Let me not absorb the brain rot and become rot myself,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
and I think that's what people do, and also we like find ourselves in these people, you know, they're nothing like us,
Nope.
right? Like they're
Mm-mm.
nothing like, and yet we convince ourselves that they're relatable or that we relate to them. And I'm curious to ask you, like, do you think that our obsession comes from the want of a parasocial attachment?
Mm.
Are we projecting our own desires into those narratives? And like, what do you think it says about us, right? Of how lonely we are, or to my point earlier about men not yearning, right? That people are not yearning, people are yearning for connection.
Yeah, Gideon. It just that reminds me. You can keep running out of my life. Every time I hear that word, I always think of that damn song.
Ah! Not my life.
I will say so. My heart is yearning. You can't
Mm.
just say that to somebody like me who is neurospicy because you know I'm gonna start singing a song. But anyway, so I've been thinking as you were talking, I kept thinking about like, is it like what did the pandemic really do to us? And
Ooh.
as like when you really do the math, like it doesn't feel like a long time, but there was 2 years where we were truly isolated from one another. I mean,
Mhm.
when you read through like over 700 days where we were not allowed, I mean, unless you lived with someone, obviously, like, I mean, you lived with your roommate or you were familiar with your roommate at the time.
Mhm.
I had my partner,
Yeah.
like I had my cat, like, but outside of that, like we were alone a lot of the time. We were stuck in the
Yeah.
house by ourselves. And so, like, I think because of that, people started looking for relationships through obviously like television and tech, right? We're trying to build relationships on social media. We were trying to build relationships. People were using Zoom. People were like, we were doing, and so like when you ask this question about where our obsession comes from with this, right? I think it was like we were already like deeply immersed into it. And then I feel like the pandemic only like sped that up. You know what I mean? Like it literally pushed us into
Interesting.
a deeper,
Interesting.
like, isolation, if that makes sense, because we were already isolating, right, with the
Yeah.
social media of it all, from MySpace to Facebook to, Twitter when Twitter was decent. But then you get this pandemic, right, and then you have 700 plus days that you're being told you can't be in community with anyone, and a lot of
Mm.
people took that very seriously. There were some people who were like, "Fuck that noise, I'm doing what I wanna do." Okay, that's cool, but I mean,
Yeah.
we saw clubs shut down. We saw jobs go remote. We saw so much isolation happen. And so I think to your point or to your question, I think the reality is a lot of us, and I say a lot of us, even to it's even me, like I'm doing my best not to project my feelings about certain things onto people as if it's their responsibility. Like I recognize that a lot of my feelings of loneliness that I have is shit I need to work through, right? This idea that
Mhm.
I'm 40 and I don't, like I've said this before in past episodes, I'm 40. I don't have the Martin and the Living Single friendship groups that I once in my head thought I would have. A lot of that, but then also, like I said, I've lost friends because of the pandemic. I've had friends move away. Two of my best friends now, one
Mhm.
lives in North Carolina, another one lives in Atlanta. I haven't seen them in 3 years. Like it's just a lot of that is stuff I have to process through. But I also do believe that these television shows, specifically dating shows, have made us believe that, and I say made us believe because I think people forget these are produced, like these shows are produced, like they're being cut and clipped. And
Mhm.
so the person that you see on these television shows who you think is a really good person could be a really fucked up person in IRL, but because they have a good
Mm.
edit on the show or because they went into the show knowing that the world was going to be watching them. They've given off this persona of being a good person, right? And that's something that I picked up in Love Is Blind. I'm like, ooh, that's a really nasty person, but they just have a really good edit. Got it. And so like that's the kind of stuff I'm very cognitive of. But I think I
Mm.
think a lot of us are just really fucking lonely. I think being an American, a part of the American culture, and I think that's why third spaces are so important. And I was actually talking to somebody about this. Like there was a budding third space that was happening here in the Inland Empire, and it just recently closed. And a friend hit me and was like, "Hey, did you hear that this place closed?" And I was like, yo, like I had so much hope that this place was going to be a third place for so many people, and now it's gone. And I think
Mhm.
that's the thing. Like so many Americans, they are looking for connections, and I just feel like they don't know how to find them. And so the only way or the only
Mm.
thing they know how to do is turn on Love Is Blind, turn on, some random dating show that they see on TLC or that they see on Lifetime or whatever, right?
Mm.
Married at First Sight, right, is another big one that I feel like I had qualms with. But yeah, that's my long way of saying I think we're all just, I think we're all lacking intimacy in various ways. And I want people to be very mindful when I say intimacy. It's not intimacy in the sense of like sex or like physical connection. I'm talking the intimacy of like friendships, right? I think we're all lacking in certain ways because I think all of us are trying to figure out how do we come out of this really dark time of our life, which is like I said, that pandemic really fucked a lot of us up. And I don't think we're
Yeah.
ever going to really know that until the next couple of years of how much work we have to do to undo a lot of that trauma that we all experienced. Yeah, but I just think that we're all works in progresses, and I think we have a lot of work that needs to be done. So that's my long
Mm.
way of answering
Mm.
that question. I just wanted to ask you
Mm.
really quickly before we skirt off into the next segment. I wanted to ask you, I can't really answer this question because I'm sure my husband would kill me. Um, but I wanted to ask you, if you were to do if a dating show was to come and knock on your door and say, "Hey, Jordan, you have this award-winning podcast. We know you as an influencer. You have this deal with that, with this, Fabletics. We love what you're doing. Would you be interested in being on a dating show like 90 Day Fiance, Love Is Blind, Queer Ultimatum, or we want to connect you with this matchmaker who we think we want to record? Would you do it?
Hell
Why?
no. Hell no. Well, maybe I can't say hell no to like all of it. There's a show that I do love
Okay.
that I would do. Okay. Okay. So this is a show I would never do Lois Blind. I would never do 90 Fiance. But
Never.
also,
Hmm.
you will never catch me
Never.
marrying somebody like that's just not my
Not for
journey.
me, babes.
Um,
Hmm.
not for me, vibes. Love is
Yes.
blind. No, I can do that either
No.
because
Hmm.
they can't be on that show unless they have a show full of like big bitches. Because what I'm not gonna do is yap to somebody for 2 weeks and then they see me and they're like, oh,
You get the Patrick.
you
You get
legit
the Patrick treatment. That's what
like
happened with Patrick on
don't
this
no
season of Love
girl
Is Blind.
because
Yup.
if that happens, bitch, it's on site.
Yeah. He still
Oh,
should. And
oh,
I want to say
bitch, I
this, not
told
to
you who I
cut you off, but I
was.
hope Patrick lights that girl up on this reunion because she tried to play like
Okay.
she wasn't racist and she was, but go off.
Oh, was yeah. I'm like, oh
Hmm.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, girl. Because first of all, bitch, I'm not a dime. I'm not a quarter. I'm a whole
I
dollar.
know that's
Like,
right.
don't even be
Two.
like, oh, girl, $2. Okay, I'd be like, oh, to you too, bitch.
Hmm.
So no, do you think matchmakers work? So that's interesting you asked that because like matchmaking is also like matchmaking in some cases is like there are many cultures in which matchmaking exists a lot, right? Like there's Indian matchmaker, there was that Jewish matchmaking show, and
Yes. Yeah.
culturally, matchmaking is like a thing for many people and cultures. And so I'm not mad at the idea. I do think I think some do work because like I think people do have a skill or can cultivate a skill where it's like you understand people based on their interests, right? But those people and the matchmakers tell them you cannot go into this
Mm.
what I love about what I love about these shows that the matchmakers will say like you can't go into this being like you can get everything you want. Like you have to go in with this to being open and compromising. Like I can show you who is a good match, but you have to believe it's a good match for yourself, and you cannot and you can't be like, well, they're not a good match because they don't look the way I want them to look. Like that's not. Like that's not how it works. And so I think matchmaking can work. I would do a matchmaking show. I love the show I Kissed a Boy, the UK
Uh-huh.
show, because I think they're interesting
Mhm.
because you start off the show like they're like matched by something. So it's already a matchmaker component. And then you meet your match and you have to meet with a kiss first. Like you meet with the kiss and then you like chat and stuff. And then like every week you decide, are you my match? Are you or am I matching with somebody else? I think it's an interesting show. So I like the idea of like you come in, right? Because also like you want like at the end of the day, physical intimacy is gonna be important. So
Right.
like you come in being like, you know, like will I be physically intimate with this person? If we kiss, how's a kiss go, right? And like you come in thinking that your thoughts on how they look and how they are, and
Mhm.
then you like yap each other a bit more, right? I think I liked the second season more than like the first season. I think. I'm sorry, no. Yes. So yeah, I'm trying to think which one I watched now. I think I watched 2 seasons.
Okay.
No, 1 season. I forget. No, I think yeah, sorry. I'm like, what did I watch? I've I'm I'm on my second season now. And I like the first season a lot, so I was wanted to say. Because I think like it was just really interesting. Like it was like all different people. Some were like conventionally hot and some were like not. And I think that was really great. And I love to see
Mhm.
different bodies show up. And also, right, like they still found each other really desirable. I think
Amen.
that's really
Amen.
amazing.
Yes, yes.
Um, you know, after a reunion, there was one couple that like throughout the whole show was like they'll be together for sure forever, and then they broke up, and they made a point, right? Because in the show, you're together in this villa, and that but right, and so they made a point in the show of like when we left the villa and went to our lives, it was hard to integrate, and I think that's like super real and
Mm.
super honest, right? And so I also think like to a point earlier about when we watch these shows like they're in like a lab, right? Like these things are a lab,
Mm.
and no one's thinking about how will this person integrate back into your life. And
Yep. Yep.
there's no therapist, there's no like site, there's no like
Nope.
person to help you do that. And I
Mhm.
wish they had the shows to be successful, they had that,
Yeah.
right? Like on I guess the boy, there's only one couple that like and like they didn't get together to like halfway through the show and then they were together for like a year and a half afterwards. They actually broke up much later, but like they made it work because they talked a lot about what is their lives outside this villa because they
Mm.
were really mindful of like this villa is cute and we love what we're doing
Yeah.
here, but we know
Yeah.
that we're gonna be different. Like my life is busy. Can you keep up with that? My life is
Mhm.
doing that. Like but I think I would do that show because I again like I'm a communicative person. I would say, listen, I'm on upteenth boards and doing this much work. Like
Mhm.
I but you know, if we live more than 40 miles apart, girl, I won't see you that
Right,
often.
right.
I just won't see that often, right? If we live 10 miles apart, I'll see you every week or something. Like we, you know, I think, yeah. So I think it depends on the show, but I'm not mad at the idea of doing it. I do like I want to do there's a the pitch a friend events that I want to do. My friend like wants to do both of it, and
Okay.
I'm like down for it, right? Like
Okay.
I'm down for that.
Well,
Like
if you do that, please invite me because
if a bitch can match make me,
yeah,
girl,
please.
yes.
I would love to be match made in terms of like bigger
Okay.
friendships and things because
Yeah,
I'm always
big.
looking. Yeah, how you do it? Yeah, I'm
How you
definitely
doing?
big into that. I was gonna say to your point real quick, and then we can wrap. But I was gonna say, I think his name is let me make sure I get his name right. Here, this is me going into to Love Is Blind. Love is Blind season 9. I love that everyone's doing this now. People stop their show to Google the names of people and the names and stuff. What's his name? Aston? What's his name? Is that right, Joey? That's Joey is our producer for those who are listening. Yeah, Anton. Anton was his name. Ali and
Mm,
Anton. That's the reason why they fell apart was because is it Anton? Anton, whatever his name is. But anyway, they broke up because Ali didn't like the fact that he was a basically, and I don't say this to be
mm,
demeaning, he was a drunk. He drank a lot. He drank in the morning, he drank in the
mm.
afternoon, he drank in the evening, and he genuinely okay. Our producers saying they don't watch the show, which I get. It's not for everybody, but I was gonna say that was the big reason why they
Sound of that
broke up
shit.
was when he was in the pods, he was very, oh, this is who I am. I'm about this, I'm about that. And then when they got out of the pod, she was like, baby, what happened to all of that beer that was in the fridge? What happened to that half bottle of wine of whiskey we had and it's gone? So like I think just his the way that his world was around alcohol was not for her, which I get because I'm also big on I'm not a big drinker. I don't really care for being in spaces with people who drink a lot. That's why I don't go to clubs. That's why I don't go to bars. And so I think that
Mm,
for her there was some trauma there, and I think that they didn't talk through that enough, and that's initially what made them what broke them up. And so yeah, I think you're right. I just think I say this to say, and like I said, then I'll wrap up. I think we really need to be intentional about kind of like what I said in our last segment, like what we need from people,
mm,
and
mhm.
knowing that a television show and an app is not going to give that to us, and being very clear on the idea of like, this is how I want to be loved and this is what I need to be loved, and just recognizing that reality TV ain't all of what it seems. But anyway, with that being said, now that I've submitted my application for Joho to be on a new season of Blind Date, that is for people who are of a particular age. If you know, you know. um, let us know if you know. But now that they're on Blind Date, we're going to take a break and come back with what's popping in pop culture. Back in a second.
And we are Black Fam, and we are 5 seconds away from Halloween. And this week, want to talk a little dabble in the spooky. But we're gonna do it fun today. I want to ask us who, in our opinions, are underrated queer horror icons. Like, which villains
So
are
funny to me.
queer horror
It's
icons?
so stupid.
We have a
I
list.
love
We have
it.
a list here. Okay, so
Hmm.
I'm gonna go down it. Let's talk about it. First was Babadook.
Yes, the Babadook. So, did you want to tell the lore about why the Babadook is a
Okay,
queer?
because at first I was like, "Why?" And producer Joey, bless her
Yeah.
soul, informed us that that apparently when the movie came out, Netflix had put it under like LGQ movies by
Yes.
accident. It was like a glitch in the Matrix, and they're like, "Oh my!" I did not.
So
It was
stupid. Yes.
so silly, and so
Yeah.
that is like, so that's what happened, and then people were like, "No, what? I'm gonna run with it." But then John Paul Brammer, a writer. I don't know what they were for, but they had wrote a story about that the Babadook terrorizing a white Australian family in the suburbs was an act of queer defiance, and I have no choice but to agree.
Dumb. Yes.
Like, but people,
Yes.
like,
I have
I
to
have
stand.
people, and I know the queers have loved the Babadook, so like
Mhm.
I'm here for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
I agree too. I
Next
agree
was
too.
It the Clown. Now
Yes,
I will
it.
first. Now let me first say this: if you saw the new movies, It 1 was fantastic. It
Yeah.
2 was interesting, and It 2 opened with a gay bashing scene that I,
As
to this
yeah.
day, did not love and thought that was the most problematic thing I've ever seen in my
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, "This is horrible," but I still was like, this clown is a queer icon for sure." Like,
And I understand why it happened because it was in the book. So I think they were trying to stay with Stephen King's story about the issue of what queer people are dealing with around their
mm,
identity, which I get. I agree. I agree
yeah, yeah,
110%
yeah,
that it
yeah.
was terrible, but I also understand why it was there. So
Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine with source material, but it was just so
Mhm.
graphic that I was like,
It was
the book didn't say
unnecessary.
all this. Okay, the
Yeah.
book didn't show about this whole ass gay bashing that happened here before
Mhm. Mhm.
the kind the boyfriend. But I think the clown is a queer icon.
Oh,
One,
she
because
is.
like,
Yeah.
what gay isn't a clown, first of all? But two, this motherfucker is
What?
just motherfucker's just out here just like chopping down people.
Yeah.
Like, this clown is pure camp. And I'm like,
It
yeah,
is definitely a
absolutely.
eater. Mhm.
Definitely.
And she also, let's also talk about her fashions though, because it, as much as she is scary and I'm not here for it, her hair is laid, honey. It was coiffed. She came out of that cave with a coiffed look. She said, "Oh, you
You
gonna get this hair?" And then she had that big ass, like, what do you call that? That, like, the fluffy ruffle thing around her neck. It is a fashion girl. Her
you
nails is done, face is
It's a
painted.
fashion
Yeah.
girl, it's taking me
It
down, but
is
know what?
a
You are not
fashion
wrong.
doll. Yes,
It
honey.
said, "Let
Tell
me
me
find
I'm
the
wrong.
best Victoria era."
Yes.
They got they got the best
Uh-huh.
human hair.
Yep.
They said, "Let me call my girl down the street and say, yo, what's tea on this?" You Yes, yes,
It is a
yes.
fashion girl.
And
That's it.
you know she vows out.
Yes. Oh
When
God, yes.
she walks
What
the
house is
runway
she in?
for
House
sure.
of what?
Ooh,
Is she
House of Balloons.
Balenciaga?
No.
No. Not
House
House of
of
Balloons.
Balloons.
Stupid. Get out of here.
I'll scream. Okay, next on the list
Mhm.
is Chucky. Thoughts?
So I came up with this one. I said Chucky is pansexual, and I'll tell you why. Chucky is very much she's camp. Chucky is camp. Chucky is one of those people that you like. So she's like me, basically was like teased a lot, and so is very quick witted, very snarky, very like if you try to come at Chucky left. Chucky's gonna have a really good response to you and very
Mhm.
quick with it. And that's what just gives me like Chucky's in the LGBT, like the LGBTQ. She's a part
Mhm,
of the
mhm,
alphabet
mhm.
mafia in some way, shape, or form because Chucky gives I all my life I've had to fight and now I'm getting even. Yeah, that's what
All
Chucky
my life I
gives.
had to
All
fight.
my life I had to fight. Chucky, I
Please.
can't put my finger on it, but if you know, you know. Chucky is a part of the LGBTQ,
And
but I
truthfully,
just don't know where.
what is more
Mhm.
camp than a short king?
T.
What's more
T.
camp?
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
he's pan and has a trans child.
And has a
We love to
trans
see it.
child.
We love to see it.
Inclusivity. We
Okay,
love an
listen.
inclusive
Chucky
parent.
don't care if you're gay. He'll kill you
No.
regardless.
Yes.
Chucky is an equal opportunist. He's like,
Yep.
I'll fuck everybody up. It's
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
I I
And
love the
what gay
gays.
is not literally moving through life in that way anyway?
Oh, I'm
Because
saying,
aren't we all ready to whoop everybody's ass any
okay?
goddamn way?
What gay isn't at all? Okay,
Very non-binary coded.
coded.
Yes.
Period.
Very that is
Period.
what
Period. Period.
our
Yeah, Chucky is the dolls that we have to protect. When they protect the
yes.
dolls, they mean Chucky.
Yeah,
Okay, protect.
protect the dolls. They mean Chucky. Yes, when they say
Chris,
protect
please
the
clip this, bitch.
dolls.
Clip this right now.
That's
Protect the
the
dolls.
clip. That
They
is the clip.
mean
When they
Chucky.
say protect the dolls, they
They
mean
mean
Chucky.
Chucky.
I know that's right.
Excuse me. Oh, excuse
Yes,
me. Ooh.
yes.
Okay. Next on the list is vampires. Now I now
Yes.
now I feel like I smell
Mhm.
my coffee. Now I feel I'm screaming. I feel like vampires I feel like have always been a little gay. Cause
Yeah,
they out here sucking shit up. Though
biting
you love
people.
biting and sucking shit, you little nasty
Yeah.
freak. Okay.
Uh-huh.
They love
Mhm.
they hate being out in the daytime. They love being on night. What gay
Yes.
doesn't? Like vampires are specifically gay men. They love to be
Yeah.
outside at nighttime. They love to run the streets.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
never want to be up. Never want to be up in the daytime. They love darkness and a little coffin. Now people
Mhm.
are now they're thinking of the interview with a vampire gay,
Right,
and
right.
I
And
think that's
Rice.
that's fair too, right? But like I don't know. I think all vampires are a little gay.
Yeah,
I think all a little gay.
I actually support that notion. I believe that most vampires, especially the male, yeah, I mean Dracula, like Dracula, she was, yeah, she was a she, Drac, Dracula. I think she walked a couple of
A
balls.
balls. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she gave
Hmm.
what her category be. I think she gave.
Yes, that's a good. What would Dracula's category be? That is a good
You know
question.
what? They walk face because they always look good.
Yes,
Cards
yes.
not decline. The skin's always skinning.
Yes,
Um.
even though it's a little pale. Uh-huh,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
uh-huh.
Well,
Well,
that's fair.
yes.
Well. Yeah. Well.
Mhm.
Yes. Um. I think they would walk. I think they could.
Femme
They could.
queen realness?
Femme queen, sex siren, because they
Sex
always
siren. Okay,
manipulate a
okay,
girl. They
okay.
always manipulate girls into a little sexiness.
Yes, yes.
Yes. They've watched a few shows.
Mhm.
They've judged a few shows as well too.
T. T.
Okay, I live it. I live.
Uh-huh.
So next is one that John's not as familiar with, which is Jennifer's Body, which
Nah, I don't know her.
it's a niche if you know you know. But Megan Fox, queer bicon in this
Mm.
movie. Movie is so queer. I cannot tell you what. Megan Fox is a succubus, which is like some people's dream. People love Megan Fox. Would love if she was a little sex creature that would eat you alive. She she this girl walks to a bar, is sacrificed by a band, comes back to life as
Mm.
a succubus, eats the band up, and then starts murdering all the like guys in the school, but makes out with her bestie Amanda Seyfried, and then tries to eat Amanda's boyfriend, and Amanda's like, "You're so obsessed with me."
So wait, is she
Like
a vampire?
she's a succubus,
A succubus. Okay. Well,
a
teach
little
me
demon,
something.
I love a demon that
a
is
dumbin.
a
Okay,
demon,
a dumbin.
a demon
Mhm.
that takes the men.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, okay.
yes.
Okay,
Okay. Well,
so
yes.
my
Mhm.
hot take, my next one. My hot take is this: Ghostface. To me,
Yes.
he is
Go
DL
off. You were
Trade.
right. I'm with you when you
Ghostface
right.
is
I'm
DL
with you when
Trade.
you right.
I know
Mhm.
people who love Scream will be like, "This is not." No, Scream is camp as fuck. First of all,
Is.
second of all, like you have all these like deranged wild men like that try to kill people. Why? Because they're oppressed. Because they love each other.
Mhm.
because they are men who are obsessed with men. They won't tell you. They won't tell each other about it.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
why. Three,
Yeah.
Ghostface loves a dramatic, intense murder. He won't shake a bitch once. He'll shake a bitch like 24 times. He'll
Mhm.
stab a hoe until they are done. He wants it to be messy and bloody. And I said, "Oh, that's obviously DL Trade." Okay, he
Question
said
for
because
you.
he can't paint, so he'll splatter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Have you seen the clip of Ghostface chasing that lady through her house and in the background it's playing House Tour by Sabrina Carpenter?
please, please, please. Please,
Yes! And I saw that and I said, that is actually fucking genius.
please.
Somebody, I have to find a link and send it to you, but there is a clip that someone customized of this woman running through the house in one of the screams. And basically, when they get to the third floor, he throws her over the balcony and it's to Sabrina Carpenter's house tour. Perfect. But I was going to also say, so I know some people may probably come for us about talking about DL trade and being repressed. I will just say, I think so. What I will say about that is there actually has been conversations about that online. Two of the actors from the very first Scream said that. They said that they
Mm.
were a gay couple, and the reason why they were both Ghostface was because of the issues that they were having around their own identity and their sexuality. And that's what they believed is the whole Scream franchise is about. It's about men specifically who have a very hard time. So before y'all come for us to say, "Oh, it's a no," actually, there have been actors who are connected to the Scream franchise who has said that is exactly what Scream is about. So just want
Okay,
to put that out there.
okay. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, it's
Next is
very real. It
thank
makes a
you.
lot of sense.
Next is Freddy Krueger
Yes.
because only a gay will kill you in your dreams.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also camp.
Also camp with the fucking 12-foot long nails,
Yeah,
girl. Come on,
mother stayed with a fresh set. She said, "You're
St-
not gonna catch me off."
slice. Honestly, my inspiration
Uh-huh.
when I get my nails done, people are like, "Oh, they're always so sharp." Because I'm inspired by my girl Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
She
For
stayed with a fresh set.
Freddy Krueger's a girl who I'm sorry I say it. Freddy Krueger's a girl who would always get rejected on Grinder, and they said, "You know what? I'll get you in your
Mm,
dreams instead.
I'll
That's
catch
fine.
you. I'll catch you in your sleep.
Okay, I'll grind you up then.
Yep,
That's fine.
yep.
Okay."
If you want it, you can have it. I
They
know.
said, "No fast, no fams, no Freddy's."
Yep.
Bam. Period. No Freddy's. Bam. That was that.
Why are we here? Why? How did we get here? This is all your
Okay,
fault,
y'all. We
Joey.
almost done. We almost
This
done,
is
y'all. We
all
almost
your
done.
fault. I'm literally looking at my producer and going, "This is all your fault, Joey."
My last one.
Yes.
My last one is going to be Adam's family. And this is a shout out to Joey. This one
Mhm.
because because Joey's of the Adams family, that Morticia and Gomez are the original T4T couple. Say less.
Stupid.
Say less.
So dumb. That's
Nothing
it.
else to say.
Ain't nothing else to say.
That's the story.
Yeah, literally, the Addams family is definitely given T for T, and I did
Oh my
not see
god.
that until Joey said it. Until they
That's
said
it.
it, I definitely
Ah,
was like, "I
I
see
get it
it."
now.
Yeah, I am right there with them. I will also say, so it's funny that we're having this conversation because I was telling you in our pre-meeting that I was actually watching Jeepers Creepers 2 last night, and I was saying that I think Jeepers Creepers is also another a queer canon, or
Mm-hmm.
there's queer codedness there. I
Mm-hmm.
call them Big Jeeps, but Big Jeeps is definitely there. It's he's in the, like I said, he's in the mafia, LGBTQI. He's somewhere in there. But honestly, it's also a little gross because in the first season, the first film, he was sniffing them people's clothes and he sniffed that boy's underwear. And it's just kind of gross. Like if you watch the second one, how he
Mm-mm.
stalks young men and
Mm-mm.
how he went after those young men on that bus in the second one. And so
Mm.
it's just very much giving Kevin Spacey. And I watched Jeepers Creepers and I'm like, know how I feel about all this
He
anymore.
said,
So
"This is mm,
yeah, this is a choice. Whoever wrote this was a choice. So I definitely want to shout out Big Jeeps because I don't want Big Jeeps coming after me, but I definitely do recognize that Big Jeeps is has got things that they need to work through. We
mm."
definitely need to get Big Jeeps some creep. Big Jeeps, we need to get them some help. That's definitely what we need to do. But yes, this was fun. This was definitely
This
fun.
was a ride. This was a ride. If you
Hmm.
have some more thoughts, listeners, about who's a queer icon, villain, baddie in the horror classiques, please let us know.
Please.
Until then, we gotta go. We gotta take one more break to pray for ourselves and put
Amen.
some holy water in our bellies because ooh, that was a lot of of demonic shit. We'll be back with our yes with your first segment, yes ma'am, no ma'am, Pam's in just a sec.
Amen. All right, so this week mine are quick. I know I've been saying that the last couple of weeks and they have not been quick, but these are very quick. So I will say this that this week for my yes ma'am, I just wanted to say for the people who thought fat meat wasn't greasy, we're here. The government is shut down. A lot of people are not getting their aid. A lot of people can't work. Um, this man is tearing up the White House. It's an accurate representation of what is happening in America right now. Is what we see happening at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right now it's a shit show, and a lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
turning and going, "Oh, I didn't know he was going to do this." And I go, "No, he told you
We
exactly what
all
he was
knew.
going to do. We all knew it.
We
We've
all
been
saw it
saying it
coming.
for years. We all saw it coming, and y'all thought it wasn't going to come for you, and now it's at your door. And I just I like as much as I want to be jokey about it, I'm sending a lot of prayers out to people. And I don't say that to be facetious. I'm really am. I'm really worried for a lot of people because like the holidays are coming and people don't have food and people don't have access to cash. And what are people going to do to take care of what their livelihood is? There's only so much resources that we have because this government has already taken a lot of these resources away, and it's scary. It's really scary to think about where we could potentially be in the next couple of months considering everything that's already happening right now. So um I just feel bad. I just feel really, really bad, and it really, um, yeah. I mean, I don't even want to say that's a yes, ma'am. I'm just like I think for me, it's like, and I know this is a really shitty way. My yes, ma'am is really, you know what? The people who are on the right side. Shout out to y'all who are fighting and doing the work, but also to the people who thought this wasn't going to come for them. Here we are. So take that how you
Mm.
take it. Feel how you feel about it. It is what it is. My no man Pam. So I just want to say people who park like jerks. I was at a conference this week. I had a rental car. I had a situation with the man who parked next to my rental car. I won't really get into the full qualms of what happened and what was said, but I my biggest thing was, and this is what I told him. I said, "Well, if you didn't park like a jerk, we wouldn't be in this situation, right?"
Mm.
And that's the end of it, and that's the thing. Like, park like a regular person. Like, I don't. I've said this before. People who back in, you take all this time to back in. Why? When you could just pull into the parking spot and save everybody some time. Like, just don't be a parking jerk. That's it.
Mm.
That's really it. So, what are your yes ma'ams and no ma'ams for this week?
My yes ma'ams are well. So I'll start with my no ma'am first because it's also related to the government shutdown. Just like
Mm,
the how it's risking SNAP and food stamp benefits for people in CalFresh here in California. Like it's just really it's like despicable really how our government claims that it supports the people. And I think every day in this government is a constant
reminder that they don't.
a
Yep.
constant like revelation that they hate us
Mm-hmm.
and want us to suffer. And so that's a huge amount of time tour government shut down still because it's the second longest government shutdown in history and could very well be uh going for the first place soon. But yes, ma'am, to the people who are organizing now mutual aid and
Yes,
food
that's what I meant
support,
to say. Yeah.
which is really special and amazing. And I'm
Mhm.
happy that I believe California is like using some money or funding to help support people as well too, which
Mm.
is a privilege. Like I'm as much as expensive as California is, I'm culture minded. Like I appreciate living in a state that does try harder than most states to take care of its people. And I appreciate that a lot too. My
Mhm.
other yes ma'am is gonna be also to Cardi B. because Miss Mama's just having a year. She's just having a year, and it's just a silly year. And she's giving me everything that I need and more out of it. Like her trial, her beef with Nikki, her beef with Bia, the way John, the way for folks who don't know, my costume this
Stupid.
year, my costume is Cardi B during her trial. I never
Mhm.
know what I'm wear. I need to buy the wigs. The way I'm so excited, John, to be with you and to just respond to you in Cardi B phrases. I
Yes.
am so goddamn excited. Like
Yeah, just
you haven't. Well, you have American Records, right?
yeah,
You have American Records. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
130 pounds at the time. I was pregnant. Hello.
So stupid. What I was
Literally.
gonna also say to your point, so I know people may get confused because so basically my I don't really have a yes ma'am this week. Both of mine were no ma'ams. I should be very clear on that. But I was also gonna say, my yes ma'am actually really is to the people who see people who are going to be looting or stealing food or doing what they need to do, and they
Mhm,
say, no, you didn't. Them are the people that I'm here for. Shout out to
mhm.
the folks who are doing whatever they can to support folks in this moment. That's what I ultimately really wanted to say. But yeah, it's this government, it what a time to be alive. Like I've been saying that in so many different ways, and I'm like, and I think the thing that really gets me is we are only literally 10 months into this, like 10 months, and it feels like we've lived for 5 years. Am I wrong?
Mm.
Am I wrong in feeling that? Like, I feel like we've
No, it feels like
literally
it's
lived.
been. I think I'm like we have 3 more years of this president. It's been literally only 8 months. We have 3 more. Hopefully, just 3 more years and nothing more. But like we have 3 more years of this.
And the
It's wild.
gag is that every terrible thing that has happened in the last couple of the first government shutdown happened during his presidency. This is the
Yep.
second time that it has happened
Yep.
in his presidency. So it's like
Yep.
I just don't comprehend what people don't see. But hey, if you like my mom used to say, if you like it, I love it. Um Anyway, God, it's hard. It's hard. I will say this before we close. It's hard to try to be like, we'll be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. Like it just, I think it's becoming more and more harder for
Yeah.
folks to like do that. And so, like, I'm not gonna even pretend like everything that's happening in this world is not impacting me either, because there have been days I've literally just laid in bed and I've looked at the ceiling like, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do. And I think everyone's feeling it. So um we're hoping that you can get, and that's why I think I love that we can come here and laugh. Like I'm hoping that our listeners can come to the show,
And
listen
laugh
to
as
us,
well.
and laugh as well.
Yeah.
We've gotta like laugh is a form like laughter and joy is a form of resistance. And
Yeah.
I'm praying that this show continue to be that for a lot of people because it is so fucking hard right now to be an American.
Yep.
It is so hard to be an American right now. So, anyway, all that to be said, we would love to hear your thoughts. We would love to hear your yes ma'ams, your no ma'ams. What things you check, things that you don't. Whatever the case may be, send them over to us. You can put them in our inbox, or you can send them to blackfatfempod@gmail.com. If you also just need, some upliftment. I don't know if that's the right word. If you need to be uplifted and you're feeling a certain type of way, and you want us to, shout you out on the air, or you want us to just send you some love, feel free to drop that dime in the box too. I will say this: we are not therapists, so please don't tell us
Mm.
all of the stuff going on with you. But also if you need, I will say this. So we had a listener. I'm not gonna call them out, but I had a listener reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a black therapist and I've been struggling to find one who can, work with me remotely. Do you have any suggestions?" And I was able to send them some recommendations. And so that's the kind of stuff that we love over here at Black Fat Fem. Like
Mm.
we love to know that we can support y'all in whatever ways that we can. We're not rich. I will say that very upfront. Some people will hit us up and be like, "Can you donate and give me money?" Nope, we ain't got it like that. But what we can do is we can try to help you find resources and try to help you feel like you have a community that's supporting you. So if you need that right now,
Mhm.
please feel free to reach out to us via, like I said, our inbox, or feel free to send us a message and we can do what we can. Interact with us on Instagram and Threads by using the handle at BlackFatFemPod. Queen Joho, where can the dolls find you as we're trying to survive and stay happy and alive?
Of course, y'all, you can find me at Joho Downs across all socials. My website, journeyons.com. If not there, you can find me laughing on Instagram or
Amen.
watching my newest obsession, the morning show on Apple TV. This show is so good. I'm into it. Oh my God. I'm sad. I'm gonna watch all 3 seasons this weekend. I'm so thrilled for it.
Is the show over?
No, sorry. Just,
Okay.
just the things that are out currently.
Okay. I
I'm
was
watching
gonna
all
say, I
3
was like, I didn't know, I didn't hear it was ending. Okay, great. Yeah, I watched the first season. I didn't really get into the second season. I should have, but I didn't. But yeah, I can concur that the first season was really good. And then I just kind of fell off. But what I will tell you that is really good if you are an Apple TV girly, Invasion is fantastic. It's
Ooh,
also,
yes, that's next for
and it
me.
has what is her name? From Living Single is in this new season. The one who played the one with the braids. Come on now.
Max?
Maxine, the one
Oh,
who
yeah.
played Maxine
Erica
Shaw.
Alexander.
Yeah,
Yes.
Erica Alexander
Our
is in.
queen.
Yes, my love is in this season, and so if you really want to watch that, you will enjoy it. As for me, you can find more details about my book if you're interested in doing a book talk. If you want to book us for a live podcast, whatever the case may be, hit us
We're
up,
great in person.
drjohnpaul.com. Send us an email. We would love to hit you in person. We would love to do something in person. You can also find me on social at Dr. John Paul. Buy my book. Tell your mom, your uncle, your pa to buy the book as well. If you want to see me talk more about why this podcast is important, head down to ABC, watch Our America, Who I Meant to Be. Other than that, we want to thank our super producer, Joey Pat, for making this shit pop every single week, down to the iHeart Media. And we also want to thank them for keeping the show up and running. Because let me tell you, girl, they are laying people off and they are also canceling shows. And I am very grateful. My God. I am grateful that they are keeping this up and running. So I just want to say,
Thank
I
y'all.
appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. With that being said, we want to say thank you to our wonderful editor, Chris Rogers, because without him, we would not have no audio or visuals down to the tubes of you. With that being said, stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember what, Joho?
We may not be your cup of tea, girl, but it's spooky season, so drink some blood instead, okay? Rawr.
Yes, he had a little bloody orange
Little,
cranberry.
you little vampire.
Yeah. Or you could just what else? Some pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spices
A
is always a good
PSL.
time. It's always time.
A Bloody Mary, if you will, as well.
A Bloody Mary. Do all of those things. I love us for real. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.